So guys, welcome back. Good to see you. Lovely faces. Hope you guys doing fantastic. Every single new face, every returning face. I'm Florian. Good to see you guys. And if you're new to the channel, you might want to think about hitting a subscribe button. That would be much appreciated. Today we're going to talk about 4K versus 1080p and if you really need 4K, even in 2021. So the story is every couple of months a new camera gets announced. The Canon EOS R3 is coming soon in the market. Sony just announced the ZV-E10, a new camera, and in general the camera brands looking to improve the cameras, putting more quality in, more higher resolution. But then on the other hand side, the price climbs up and cameras costing up to 6 or 10 grand nowadays. And not everyone from us can afford this. And now here comes the question, do you need all those high specs or are you still good off shooting 1080p? And in this video I'm going to show you the comparison between 4K and 1080p, and you're going to be surprised with this result later at the end of the video. But first I'm going to show you a little B-roll sequence I shot for myself in 1080p and 4K. And before we're talking further, let's dive into it. Pretty tough, right? Could you actually have told me which clip got shot in 1080p or in 4K? I think it is pretty tough to see right now if you watch your videos on a smartphone or maybe on an iPad. Sometimes we're watching YouTube on older TVs or newer laptops or. So it's pretty tough sometimes to actually say what got shot in 1080p and what shot got in 4K. However guys, we're going to do a little file size comparison now as well, because we need to storage the data, we need to process the data as well. So let's dive into the file size comparison. So keeping in mind guys, I shot the file size comparison with my Fujifilm X-T4. I shot two comparisons, one is f-log 1080p versus f-log 4K, and one is the Eterna film simulation in 4K versus the Eterna film simulation in 1080p as well. Both settings being completely identical, and that was actually a big surprise. So let's dive into it with the first comparison. The first comparison, f-log 4K versus f-log 1080p. You got around 90 or 90 megabytes difference in file size for a 20-second clip. And I think, or I would have expected, that the f-log 4K of course should be bigger than the f-log 1080p file size. Just for the reason because you gather more details, more data within f-log footage. However, coming down to the Eterna 4K versus Eterna 1080p, there is just a file size difference of 15 megabytes between a 4K and a 1080p for a 20-second clip, which isn't huge at all if you think that 4K is still bigger and got more details and is meant to be sharper as an image than 1080p. But here comes the biggest surprise for myself as well, which I didn't expect at all, that the Eterna 4K file size is bigger than the 4K f-log file size. Both clips being just 20 seconds, and you got the file size of Eterna is 522.5 megabytes for 20 seconds compared to f-log 4K 510.5 MB for a 20-second clip. And I've done some research and I couldn't find really 100% an answer to this. However, the only answer I got why Eterna 4K clip is larger than f-log is because the colors get straight burnt into your footage, and with f-log you need to do the color grading by yourself, And this is my only logical explanation why the Eterna 4K file size is bigger than F-Log. If anyone else got the answer to this or can direct me in a direction where I can find this answer, let me know in the comments, let me know, and we're gonna look into this again if needed, but this is my only explanation. So also now one more test for you guys. I'm gonna show you now A and B clips side by side. So grab a piece of paper and a pen, and then you can write down which clip is 4K and which clip is 1080p, and then I'm gonna play it straight after with the result and gonna tell you which clip is which. Enjoy. And did you see a difference? Have you seen a difference in a different clips? What is 4K, what is 1080p? After I told you, of course, you probably say, hey, yeah, sure, obvious. So now let's play the B-roll sequence again, and I'm gonna tell you this time which clip got shot in 4K and which clip got shot in 1080p.
4K, 1080p, 1080p, 4K, 4K, 1080p, 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 4K, 1080p, 4K.
So guys, now I told you which clip got shot in 4K, which clip got shot in 1080p. And are you surprised? Quite frankly, as I did edit this video and I cut the clips together and I played it back even on my MacBook 16-inch Pro, I was surprised how good the 1080p holds up to the 4K in certain moments. Of course, a lot of factors playing a role in this as well. As better your lighting is, as better your footage will be, etc, etc, etc. So guys, as in general, if 1080p is the only resolution you got available, don't worry, shoot 1080p. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube and all those bigger platforms still recommending uploading in 1080p to get the best quality out of their service. So 4K is definitely handy to have. Right now, if you're like myself, a solo shooter, and you film a lot of stuff by yourself, you're gonna shoot 4K, that you got the capability to crop into a 1080p image without losing resolution. If you do a lot of vlogging and you're doing a lot of day-by-day content, shooting 1080p probably will benefit your workflow as well, because the file size is smaller. It's probably easier to handle the file sizes as well, and if you do a lot of day-to-day content, it's just easier to handle it. 4K F-Log is great to have right now if you're out in the summer and you're gonna shoot a project. Having the capability of shooting 4K F-Log or log footage in general and do the color grading by yourself is handy, but it's a lot of work. So there's nothing wrong with shooting 1080p still in 2021. And so up guys, don't worry, don't let people get into your brain just 4K, 6K or 8K is the best. 1080p still holds up even in 2021, and after seeing this I might even go down to 1080p now and then just to save on file size and save on data storage to make life easier and speed up my process in certain ways as well. And I hope this little comparison was helpful to you guys and you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments what you think, and with that said, like, comment and subscribe, and I'm gonna see you, my friend, very soon in another video. Cheers guys.